Here's probably
5.
my most controversial pick.
Okay.
The Running Man from 1987.
I like The Running Man.
Yeah, I'm a
Love The
fan.
Running Man.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I don't know about top 5, but like, yeah, I'm a fan.
I love it so much. Arnold and Killian. Just everything. It's so good. Ventura's in it. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. It's a banger as well. I think it's a kind of forgotten one as well.
I don't think it'd make it into my top 10, to be honest.
I don't know if it'd make it into mine, but I can see like that it's one that you could fall in love with. And then
he has one of my favorite lines ever after he kills Sub-Zero. It's nonsensical. Doesn't make any sense. He just says, was Sub-Zero now Plane Zero? That doesn't make any sense.
I think it's one of those type of films that if you've fallen in love with it, it could easily make your top 10. But I think if you were asked to sit down and somebody was like, make a top 10 80s action, but like, here's the categories to use, and like, you have to do it very seriously, I don't think it makes that top 10 then. But yeah, I can see why it would make somebody's top 10, because it's something you could fall in love with and just, you know, that's it.
Like, I'm a sucker for like post-apocalyptic, like fucked up futures. Like I'm all in. One of my biggest regrets of all time was I had a wrong number text asking if Killian was there. The fact that I didn't say the Sub-Zero line back to him, like, it haunts me. I honestly think about it every day.
Find that text and respond to it now. Like all these years later, they'll be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, I made the mistake of just being like a wrong number, and then I was like, "Oh no!"
My favorite line from that movie is when Killian's talking to him and he wants him to sign the contract, and Arnold goes, "I'll tell you what I think of it. You can eat that contract, but I hope you leave enough room for my fist, because I'm going to ram it into your stomach and break your goddamn spine." Yeah! And he like throws the camera on the ground.
Like, I don't care what anyone says. That man is the king of one-liners.
He is. Yeah. He is.
But
there's a lot in that movie too.
But this is what we were saying before. Like before we came on the air, we were talking about like how comedy, you need to have that that timing.
Yeah.
And Arnie has it. Like one-liners are meant to be funny. Like they can be serious as well, but they need to have like that bit of comedy so that you remember them. And he's so good at delivering them. I think his accent helps massively as well.
Definitely.
Like I think
that adds a bit of like silly to it.
Yeah, I think if he had like a standard, you know, like just generic sort of accent, people would be like, yeah, it was funny, but it's not super funny. It's not an action film, it's a Christmas film, but Jingle All the Way.
When he delivers them too, you can like see a little glint in his eye. Like, I know this is silly.
Yeah,
I know what
love
I'm
it.
doing.
I
like,
can't wait. But
it's like hamming it up. Like, I know what's happening.
But like, it's Jingle All the Way, right? That's what it's a Christmas film I love because I saw it when I was a kid. It's honestly, it's
I've never seen that.
Okay, so it's Arnie, but he's just
that's Jake Lloyd too.
Yeah, so it's
Anakin himself.
It's Arnie, right? And Arnie as you know, the workaholic dad who misses all the kids' stuff, right? Typical 90s shit. And it's great, but like it's Arnie, so his dad's this huge jacked piece of shit walking around, like, and everyone's terrified of him, but like nobody acts like they're terrified because he's just, you know, just some guy's dad. Like they don't really reference the fact that he's huge all the time.
I love when they try to make him an everyman, just like a regular guy, and it's like, no, he's a giant beast of a human.
You obviously don't work. You're in the gym 24/7.
Yeah, but like,
geez, seriously.
Like, what is he has like, you know, he's this kid's dad, and he's forgot to buy him the toy, and he leaves it a bit late, and like he has to go do all this stuff, and there's just so many scenes where it's like he's on the phone to he rings home to talk to his wife, and the next door neighbor's there. The next door neighbor's a bit of a creep, and he answers the phone, and he's eating the cookies that the wife baked. And he's like, "Oh, these are delicious." And he's like, "Put that like he's on this street payphone, so there's loads of people around, and he just screams down the phone, "Put that cookie down, no!" And you're just like, "What the fuck?" Like, and you can see that he loves that he's delivered it. And then there's like this raffle where you each get a ball, and whoever gets their number picked out is going to be able to buy the toy, right? And there's this big scramble to get it, and he's competing with this guy the whole way through. It's Sinbad. Competing with Sinbad basically the whole way through, and Sinbad gets the ball, and he's like dancing in front of him, giving him all this shit, and he's like, He just screams from the floor. And again, he's this huge guy, and he's just all these people on top of him, and he just shouts, "He got two! He got two!" And everyone just chases him down.
They're just going for it.
Yeah,
Just
commitment
going
is
for it.
endearing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Have you
It's
actually
all
not seen
about
that show?
whatever role he's in.
But it's Arnie, like, to a T. Like, they were like, let's make a family-friendly film, but we've got Arnold Schwarzenegger, so, you know, we better give him some one-liners because everyone's expecting it.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly.
You know, what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Like,
The Ice Age.
You had to have him in. You had to give him his one-liners. He has like 10 of them in that film. They
He
just
only
kept
has about 10 lines anyway.
Yeah, because they're all one-liners. They're like, there's no point in giving him something that's not a one-liner. Just give him a one-liner. That will do. Like, that's all everyone wants from the guy. You know, one-liner and beating people up. That's it. Done.
Yeah, done. And make
One-liners
sure
and
he's
mass murder.
jacked as possible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he makes sure of that himself because he walked in and he's like, "I'm the most jacked man alive. What do you want?" And they're like,
Yeah.
That's basically what we wanted. Thanks." And he's like, "Yeah, grand. I'm off."
The Running Man's a good show, though.
The Running Man is a good show. Yeah, it is. It's one that I can see not being. I can see why it's a controversial one, but I can see why you would love it enough to put it in there. Yeah,
man, every beat of that is just delightful.
Yeah,
I mean, like I have like if I did a top 10 horror pick, I'd have some very controversial ones in there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah. Sometimes you
that's
just
that's the best thing about films. It's all on your thing.
Yeah, you love what you
It's
love.
perspective. Yeah,
you fall in love with a film and you can't get out of it.
Unless you try and
I love that concept. I just love the aesthetic of everything.
Yeah,
Killian's amazing. He's just
Okay, yeah. You said it's a controversial one. I don't think it's hugely controversial. I thought you were going to go
being
something
that high, not being on the list.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go something really,
but being ahead
crazy,
of Die Hard and Terminator.
Yeah, it is controversial that it's ahead of them. I think. Yeah. JP, what have you got? What's your first top 5?
So my top 5, I've got Lethal Weapon.
Yes.
Oh yes, this is another great Christmas movie.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
not a Christmas film for me because it could happen without it being Christmas.
Mm-hmm. But I love it, and I love the kind of film noir-y kind of like mystery angle of it. I love the bad guy is great. You know, you got Gary Busey in there too. The music,
Joe Pesci.
Oh,
Gets.
Oh. And I love, their chemistry is insane. Mel Gibson is really good in it. He plays, this tortured, cop, and Danny Glover is trying to get out of it. He's like, I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, it's the I'm 2 days from retirement trope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I love the music batshit he is as well. Like how batshit Mel is. Like he's completely off the walls. Like I'll just shoot this guy that guy who's going to commit suicide. Don't worry about it. I'll just shoot him. That will solve the problem. And you're like, no.
Or I'll just handcuff him to me and jump off this building. And he's like, get this guy away from me. He's nuts.
Yeah. This guy who's gonna end it all. Like who's like, I'm at the end of my rope. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm having there's clearly mental problems there. And then he's like, dude, this guy, this guy's crazy. Like he's handcuffing himself to me. And you're like, yeah, you are. You're certifiably nuts, dude.
See, that missed my list because of my feelings about Mel Gibson.
I can see.
Yeah,
it's hard for me to watch. It's great, but it's hard for me to watch him in anything and not be like, oh, gross.
Yeah.
So apparently Die Hard was wrote for Frank Sinatra, obviously.
Yeah, because it was
he
a
had
book.
The option to do it.
Mel Gibson was originally cast as John McClane. He turned it down to do Lethal Weapon.
Whoa!
I can't say he's wrong.
Shane Black too. He wrote the script. I love Shane Black.
I love Shane Black.
Yeah,
I can't say he's wrong to turn
an actor in one of my next ones.
Richard Donner done obviously done the movie itself.
But
Richard Donner, R.I.P.
Yeah, he did Superman, right?
He did Superman. He directed. He directed fucking 2 episodes of The Twilight Zone. He directed Terror at 30,000 Feet. Like, he's amazing,
didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
The other way, sometimes you think of someone. The other way, sometimes you think that this person turned down the chance to be in Die Hard. What an idiot.
Yeah, it's usually for some movie.
And you're like, that was terrible. But then it's like, oh, he turned it down to be in Lethal Weapon, and you're like,
oh yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know if that was a bad call. Like, I can't say. Like, I think if you'd taken either role, you did well for yourself. Like,
absolutely.
Well, it was huge for
Bruce Willis.
For Bruce Willis, because he was the moonlighting guy.
Yeah, moonlighting, exactly. Like
he was the moonlighting guy. Yeah.
Here's your controversial statement of the evening. I'd say Lethal Weapon's a better franchise than Die Hard.
Yes. Franchise, yeah. Franchise-wise, it probably is.
Because if it had ended
Die Hard,
if you ended the Die Hard franchise at Vengeance, then that would be a very controversial statement. Yeah. But with all the other fucking dog shit movies that came after Vengeance, that last one with Jai Courtney, that might have been one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. I was pissed.
I almost left the theater, and I've never done that before. It's
What's that?
So bad.
Is that the one in Russia?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I seen that once and I haven't think. But like even if you go Die Hard, even if you go Die Hard 1, 2, 3, and 4 against Lethal Weapon 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
I think Lethal Weapon.
It's because Lethal Weapon 4 is
good,
a solid movie, and Die Hard 4 is terrible.
I think Lethal Weapon lends itself to being a franchise. Die Hard didn't really lend itself to being a franchise because it's, I'm locked in this specific area, and
it's supposed to be the everyman. Like, how often can that happen?
Yeah, like
I think the second one he even addresses that. He's like, well, how can this happen to the same guy? Another time,
2 years in a row.
Yeah,
and then the third one, the plot dictates it's like, oh, he's getting revenge, so he involves him. That makes sense.
I love the third Die Hard.
Me too.
With the second one gets slept on. We did that for our Christmas episode.
It's not to say
pretty good.
It is good,
good.
But it's just the first one again.
Of course. But again, they acknowledge it. Like at times, he's just like, "How am I doing this again?" Like,
but
this is ridiculous.
The problem is that
the reporter's on the plane with his wife.
Yeah, so good.
The problem is though that it is just that it's just that thing of, Lethal Weapon lends itself to having, because we beat that bad guy, we can just have another one because it's just two cops.
Because they're cops, so they're
just two cops,
bad guys all the time.
Whereas I know he's a cop, but it's like he's the cop that takes on,
he's super
armies. Yeah, like he's just so good. It's similar to Taken. Like Taken 1, brilliant, and it was like, don't make any more of them because the concept doesn't.
You don't need to.
The concept doesn't
work. How many times
can
someone get taken? And
exactly.
You're like 80 years old.
But then now John Wick is one I think that it actually did work for. When they were like, we're gonna do John Wick 2, I was like, I don't know about this. And then they're like John Wick 3, and I was like, and there's a John Wick 4. But now I'm kind of like, but 2 and 3 are good as well, which is the thing. They managed to take the concept of one-man army and spread it out properly.
Whereas they have this secret society of assassins.
Yeah, and it works because he takes a massive beating all the time as well. Like he always just kind of barely gets there.
Yeah.
Whereas Die Hard, he kind of becomes a bit more.
Well, in the fourth one, everyone becomes unkillable.
Yeah, exactly. They
become falling out of helicopters and they're just fine.
Yeah,
like they can accept that he's unkillable. He's the Die Hard. But not everybody else.
Yeah, and I think that it doesn't lend itself, but Lethal Weapon definitely does deserve to. They're like
second Lethal Weapon's my favorite.
Yeah,
and just for the diplomatic immunity has been revoked.
Danny Glover just blows him away.
A good old one-liner.
I love even obviously. Do you watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I watched the first couple seasons.
I've seen it all.
It's so good.
In one of the episodes, Jake's obviously obsessed with Die Hard, but Holt's telling him the story about how there's a movie made about one of his adventures. And he was walking off, and he's like, "I'm getting too old for this shit."
It's so good. Yeah,
I like the one where he hears there's a bomb on a bus, and he's like, "I'm gonna do a speed."
Yeah, I like. There's one, and it's not even a full episode, but like Jake gets brought into this house, and they're like, "There was a murder in here," and he's like, "Okay," and they're like, is it going to be a cool murder? Is it not? And you're like, that's really not your job, is it? Like, and he's like, so how was he killed? And it's like, he was killed like this. It's like, oh, that's not that cool. But why is there no blood anywhere? Oh, there was a robot vacuum. And he's like, oh, kill a robot. Cool. And then they're like, what about this? And she says something else, and it's like, that's not cool. And she's like, and who discovered the body? Oh, he did. And he's like, oh, come on, this is so uncool. And then she's like, but all the windows were locked, the alarm was on, no doors open, no forced entry. And he's like, mystery, ghost, cool. And he's so hyped. He's hyped himself up massively for this because he's like, yeah, it needs to be a cool murder because then I can be like my hero, John McClane. Yeah,
I love the cold open where he makes the lineup sing Backstreet Boys.
Oh yeah.
And then he's just like, "Oh, this is the one who murdered your brother." He's like, "Oh shit."
Oh yeah, I forgot about that whole thing. So good. Yeah, but I love that they take that and they reference all these like action films.
Yeah,
and he's just obsessed with them. Like,
yeah,
so good.
Obviously, he would because there's probably loads of guys who are police officers because they watch these films when they're younger and they're like, I want to do that. That's what I want to do.
And then they're sitting in a car all day.
Players that just
they're like, this is nothing like crawling through vents and shooting bad guys and hanging them by chains. This is bullshit. I was lied to.
Yeah, I'm giving out speeding tickets and doing paperwork.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah.
We'll run on to number 4 there.
Yeah, on to number 4. Yeah.
Mine?
Yeah.
My number 4 is Commando from 1985.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We talked about this, but God, I love this movie so much.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Yeah. As you said, it's an ultimate 80s action film.
Perfect 80s action movie.
It's not the greatest film, not the greatest storyline, none of that. But as an action film, it has the one-liners, it has the big battle scenes, it has everything that you need.
It hits every beat you want.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
It's great.
Nothing more to be said on
where
that
he rips the car seats out of your one's car.
I love that.
Just so he can sit a little bit lower.
Rather than lowering it down.
So good.
What a legend. What a legend.
So good.
Yeah. No, deservedly, I can't argue with it being that high either, to be honest.
So what's that? That's 2 crossovers then, is it?
2 so far.
Yeah.
Commando and Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Commando and Roadhouse. My number 4 is one that we did for our year anniversary show, which is Aliens. I love this
one of my favorites of all time. Another Michael Biehn joint.
This movie here is another one like Terminator 1 and 2. I flip-flop between this and Alien as to which one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I like
That's
this
a
better.
tough debate.
I think Alien is a better movie, but I enjoy Aliens more.
I think
it's more fun.
I think Alien hits more to the horror genre.
Right, and this is a straight up action movie.
Aliens hits more to
the same with Terminator. Obviously, Terminator 1's more into the horror.
Yeah, and then
and this is one of those like it's exactly what Hollywood would do with a successful movie. It's like just do more of what happened, like do more Aliens.
Yeah,
and that usually doesn't work. This fucking works.
Yeah,
Alien 3 did not.
Oh no!
None of them after that. That matter.
After that,
no. After Alien and Aliens, and also slightly weird that instead of going Alien 2, they were like, let's call it Aliens.
Yeah,
just to be slightly confusing.
Yeah, because there's more of them.
Yeah, there's just more than one now.
Yeah.
To think that this movie, which was made in the mid 80s, 88, something like that.
Yeah, late. I think it's later 80s.
86.
Yeah.
86.
Mid, yeah, it is mid then.
The effects, practical and otherwise, still hold up so well. And I think that goes with what Josh and I always say on our show is that we love practical effects,
miniatures, everything.
On the slab with the horror show we have, we'd always be more
animatronics.
Animatronics.
Yeah.
Give me practical, give me stop motion. Like,
I think for the likes of Alien though, they're quite dark. They're shot in quite a dark situation, which does help because if it's really bright, it's it's easier to see flaws, especially as time goes on. You're like, that doesn't look great. When it's dark all the time, you're like, it's
that's
harder
why
to tell
Alien
was
so scary because you barely see the alien, you barely see the monster.
It's like a haunted house.
You see them, but you not for like long periods of time.
Yeah.
Even when they're getting taken over and they go into the vents, there's just a quick flash when they put the light up. It's like, oh shit, they're everywhere.
Yeah, I think one of the big things about Alien and Aliens is like obviously it was shot in these are 80s.
Alien was like 78 or 79.
79.
It's just
which
just
is
pushing into
wild that movie still holds up.
Yeah,
I just watched it the other day. I was like,
so good.
Shit.
But
it's still so good.
Yeah, the thing with them is though that they took the risk here because obviously, it's not so much of a thing now, but a female being the main lead and the one that survives and the ass kicker, huge, big risk here. Like I know kind of horror films did it, but the woman, like the woman that's the girl that survives doesn't tend to be an ass kicker and like an absolute beast. She's just the final girl. It's just, she survived. That's not the case. That's why I love Your Next. She is an ass kicker. Like
Your Next is my favorite horror movie because the final girl, if you will, is just like a blatant ass kicker.
Yeah.
But it's for a reason. Like they built it into it. It's so good.
To think that this was done in the 80s where that really was a big risk. Like when, obviously the 70s gone into the 80s, huge risk to be like, let's have your one that survives. Like the one person that survives this is going to be a woman. And she's not just going to, I'll sacrifice myself so you can save yourself, woman. It was like, no. She's the smart one. She's the ass kicker.
And they didn't make it like she's outside of her capabilities. Everything that she did was like, okay, I get that. It goes along with everything you put out there, your character. And like, she wasn't just all of a sudden like Rambo or Commando suiting up with eye black all over.
But it worked and they took that risk and it worked really well. And I was and that's something that always holds up for me with those two films. Because they took that risk.
Well, Aliens shouldn't work.
No, it shouldn't but work. It does.
That should be like a bullshit money grab.
Yeah,
that the studio pushed because it's just like just put a bunch of aliens in there and then
seriously,
that shouldn't work. But it absolutely did.
It
does.
And then after that is when it stops working. Like that's it. But I'm still happy. Like I'd still happily watch both of those.
Yeah. And Aliens, it's just that big final confrontation with the Queen, and she's like, she's got the loader. Get away from her, you bitch.
The loader. And they set that up that she knows how to use the loader. It's not just like, all of a sudden.
She can just do
everything is, there's a point to it. And everything's explained. Everything
well
is
thought about,
because it's James Cameron. So
yeah. What I love in that is the get away from her, you bitch. I don't know if yous are big in, like, I know Greg isn't, but like the Harry Potters, one of the final lines is like in like the last film, one of the female protagonists or antagonists, one of the female antagonists is like, she's going to kill one of the other people's daughter, and she's like, not my daughter, like, get away from my daughter, you bitch. And you're just like, you have clearly kind of taken that. Now, she says, not my daughter, you bitch, but you know that the line is taken because it worked so well in Aliens.
Daughter, but it's her surrogate daughter.
Yeah, it works. Like they've taken it, like it just works so well, and they've clearly taken that line from there. But it's not something that gets referenced, or there's no other reference to Alien in it. But they're just like, or Aliens in it, but they're just like, let's give a nice little nod to like this woman who was an ass kicker back then. Yeah, like if you know it, you know it.
Also, Bill Paxton. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Just the cast in that too.
My favorite line in any action or any movie ever is when the dropship crashes and he's just, game over, man.
Game over, man.
And that was ad-lib. He just did that. And like you said before, he had the voice crack. It was just
some of those ad-lib things are the best. Like you can't.
They know the character.
Like they know what they're doing, and they're just like, this will work.
And he was just such like a hard ass, like so cocky before that, and then when shit hit the fan, he's just freaking the fuck
shit
out.
Just shits the bed. He just shits the bed. He's like, oh, I can't handle this. Like I was the big man when there was no problems, but now there's a problem. I don't want to be the big man anymore.
I also have a really big problem with the whole Alien franchise. Everyone calls the aliens xenomorphs. Yeah, because they mention it in this movie. They say we might have a xenomorph problem, but then the aliens they've encountered, they've never seen before. So that's not what their actual name is.
Yeah.
It bothers me like a lot.
It just comes out of nowhere,
Yeah.
Like they're referring to something they think they understand, and that's not what they're fighting, but that name has gotten slapped onto the aliens.
What the aliens are, yeah.
And that's not what that meant.
Yeah.
Bugs me.
Yeah,
It bugs me.
You know, and it is one of those things that, you know,
I don't usually get like bogged down in those kinds of details. It's just like,
but it's what sometimes
but for
you
some
do.
reason that one
Gets at you. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, that was that's a deadly shout to have up there. Is Aliens? No way that it couldn't make the list.
Also, Vasquez not being Latin, she's just like a Jewish woman.
She's a Jewish woman, but she just put some bronzer on her and have her speak like 3 words of Spanish.
Yeah.
My favorite. You really are an asshole.
I still think one of my favorite like little shots in the movie is where she's shooting all of the eggs. And you could see in her face, she's just got this like she's sweaty and she's got this grimace and she's going, and the machine gun is shaking her whole body, and you could see the bullets just winding down, you know, going from 50 to 40 to 30, and it's just like,
and it's great because she doesn't need to do that. She's just pissed off.
Yeah, they've annoyed her,
breaking shit, and fucking shit up.
Yeah, fuck you guys.
Angry.
Yeah,
like, there's no reason for her to do that.
Yeah, well, you know, they pissed her off.
Yeah, but that is a reason, but like no tactical.
Like there's no advantage. Like I didn't need to waste all. Like she should
just be leaving.
Yeah, I'll just get out of here.
You can relate to that. It's like these motherfuckers just murdered everybody. Like fuck you.
Yeah, make sure they're
I'm gonna murder some.
Make sure they're not coming back.
Yeah, love it.
Okay, so that's a solid number 4. JP.
That was number 3.
Oh, that was number 3.
Yeah. No, that was number 4 for me.
Yeah, I thought that should have been number 4. What was your number 4 then?
Wait, what?
Because I have 3 movies left.
4. I'm sorry.
I have 3 movies left.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry, because there's a crossover.
Yeah.
My list. I was like, why did I just say that?
Okay, well, we would have been on. You'd be on to your 3, which is we now know which one your number 3 is.
No, that's not my number 3.
Oh, sorry.
My number 3 is Predator from 1987.
Oh yeah. What a film.
We always talk about, I love a movie that starts off as one thing and turns into something else. And it starts off as just like a special forces unit going to like kill a bunch of.
It's an action movie. It's like a straight
South American drug cartel and rescue some people. And then all of a sudden it's just something else.
This is one of them forced movies that came out where it was like, oh, this is an action movie, and then all of a sudden there's a big fuck off alien, like you're like, what?
Yeah,
it's a horror movie. It turns into a horror movie.
It becomes like a horror movie. It's it's stalking them, and
it's very much like from the way From Dusk Till Dawn done it.
Yes,
that's why I love Dusk Till Dawn. That's why I love Deep Rising, because it's just takes a night. Yeah, I love that movie. It just takes a 90-degree turn, and you're like, oh, now it's this.
What I love is that they bring in this group of like veterans and stuff. Well, like not veterans, they're still active, like, but like this Merc team, and they're just like, let's get these in, and you're like, yeah, the Merc team would probably have some guys that are quite big. Nope, they're all just huge.
They're all jacked.
They're
except
all
bar
jacked.
Except Shane
Black.
Black.
Except one Shane guy Black, who's not
a ridiculous pervert.
Yeah, but he's the one guy who's not jacked to bits. Like the rest of them all come in and they're like, not just kind of like, oh yeah, they're in the army, so they'd be in good physical nick. Like, no. These guys need to be jacked, like
fucking like body.
And no special forces look like that.
Yeah, no. These boys can't. These boys should not be able to fit through a normal door. I want all of the boys in my film to be so big that they can't fit through a normal door. That's basically what was said when they were casting this.
Oh yeah.
I mean, get bigger if you want to be in this. Get bigger. Oh, okay.
I have an
and it was a competition.
Yeah,
it was. If you watch the special features of it, there was a competition between it and Arnold, especially between Arnold and Jesse Ventura. And there's this great funny bit if you go on YouTube, and it's Arnold and Jesse Ventura goes, I went to the costumer today and they said that my biceps were 2 inches larger than Mr. Olympia's. And then they cut to Arnold. He's like, is that what he told you? Actually, I paid the costume designer to measure his biceps larger than mine. And then we got a bottle of champagne and then we measured them again. And I won. So he owed me a bottle of champagne.
It's a good Ventura.
Like you're talking just testosterone, like, here's these big beefy men who are all so concerned with who's got bigger biceps. And you're like, get them all in here. Let's film a film where they go out and they fight, and obviously if they were against these, like, just people with guns, like, obviously they'd win. So instead of that, what we'll have is we'll have this invisible alien species that just destroys them.
Yeah.
And I love that they don't even show like most of the kill scenes. Like obviously when like Billy's one, he's just like, I'll just cut my chest here.
Apparently he's like an insane person.
Yeah, they had security on him.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's like legit crazy.
He's legit batshit. Yeah. But I love that they're like, I love that they're like, okay, how are we gonna do his kill scene? And they're like, let's just have him cut his chest for no reason, like no benefit to him cutting his own chest open, absolutely no reason. But let's have him cut his chest open and then just pan away and just have him scream.
You just hear the scream.
Yeah.
I love his one-liner in that where he's like, "You ain't afraid of no man. It ain't no man."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, but it's a one-liner, but it's a real serious one-liner. It's different to Arnie's one-liners, you know?
Do you know who was supposed to be playing the Predator?
Yeah,
No?
Van Damme.
Yep.
Oh, was it meant to be Jean-Claude?
He was on set and like doing it, and he was just like, "This is fuck this."
He didn't want to wear the helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, they're making me wear a fucking helmet, a mask the whole time. They're not going to see my face.
The actual Predator suit didn't it wasn't there at the beginning. Like if there's like photos of it, it's just ridiculous and it looks really bad.
Oh, okay.
I think that was more to do with the invisible bits where you don't see anything.
Yeah.
Like they hadn't got the face mask or anything. It was literally just.
But they came up with that like late in the game. Like the actual, they went to like one of the great effects artists. The name escapes me at the moment, but
it was either Jeff. It was either a Rick Baker or I think it was Rick Baker.
Yeah, it might have been. It was somebody that
it was like on an airplane
or
or
kind
something.
of shit.
Yeah, mandibles. No, it's James Cameron. They were on an airplane, and it was James Cameron and I don't know. It was somebody, but I think it was James Cameron that came up with the mandibles. To give the Predator the mandibles.
Yeah, that seems like something he'd come up with.
I thought I heard it in some interview.
It sounds like something James Cameron would come up with, to be fair. As I love this film. And the only point I ever have against it is why didn't he just kill Arnie when he had him? Like he was like, I'll just have a one-on-one fight with him. Like
because
he knew he was the best,
all about
maybe
the hunt. They just want to like throw down because the Predator is basically a muscle-bound meathead like them.
Yeah, but he was happy.
Like, he was happy to fight you.
But he was happy to kill everyone else and just like kill them.
He realized he was like the alpha. And, like, he wanted to kill him with his bare hands.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that takes away from that film for me is that I'm like, they didn't really need to do that, and they didn't explain why they did it. And when it goes into the next films, they don't really explain it then either. It's just like, why the hell did he do that? And it's like, I don't know.
See, I bought in. I also like the second one.
I like the second one.
I do like the second one. It's just the one.
I also love that the second one starts off and it's like in the future, 2008.
Yeah. Oh, so far in the future. Oh.
The first death in the second one, the guy in the alley, the drug dealer.
Yeah.
So
with the sword where he pulls the sword out of his cane.
Yeah.
Bill Paxton.
Yeah. No, it's a definite like.
Busey's in it too.
Yeah.
When he gets cut in half, it defies physics. Like, the bottom half falls and all the guts fall out, and for some reason, the top half
stays there.
I think we got this wrong.
And we have that movie to blame for all the Alien versus Predator, because when Glover's on the ship, there's like an alien head in the background, and that's where that all came from.
It was Steph from there, though, wasn't it? Really.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Yeah, they just put it there to be like fun and like silly. And then...
it was kind of like, here's a nice little nod to this other great film, and then they were like, "Do you know what we could do these versus each other?" And it was like,
It's before like the internet, and like you put any tiny little Easter egg in there. It's like, oh, that's cool. Like nothing will come of it, but I understood that, so I like it.
It was the same with the last Friday the 13th where they had Freddy's glove come up.
Yeah.
Oh right.
Yeah,
but it's like a lot of them.
Jason's down and you see his mask, and Freddy's glove comes up and pulls it down.
Yeah, but it's like the original Scream. In the original Scream, the principal comes out and he like because someone keeps knocking on his door, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, Freddy," and your man's just like, "He's an asshole," but it's Fred, and he's wearing the jacket, and you're like, clearly a little nod, but they were like, we're not going to cross it over, you know. It's just a nice little nod.
It was Wes Craven himself.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But it's a nice little nod, and then
I like those
Zack
nods.
Snyder should have been making movies in the 80s and 90s because, like in his Batman v Superman, he has like the Robin suit with like the Joker riding on it. Like little things like that don't work now. But that I would have eaten that shit up.
Yeah, because everyone makes a big deal.
I'd be like, oh, what's that all about? What's going on there? I'll never know, but that was cool.
Yeah, everyone makes a big deal about it now, and it's like, oh, there's going to be a film made about that. And sometimes you're like, you don't need to do that. Just leave it. Just it was a nice little nod. Let's leave it there.
It was a simpler time.
Yeah, but no, easily a top three or
yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, JP, podium positions.
So this is one that I know is a crossover, 100%.
I know what you're gonna say.
Robocop.
Yep.
Greg has it. Yeah.
Robocop. I love Robocop.
Deserves it.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me. Your move, creep.
Deserves to be up there.
We just watched a Peter Weller movie yesterday.
Would you go as far as saying Robocop 2 is a horror movie?
Robocop 2 does have some disturbing aspects to it.
Yeah, I could see that.
Kane takes a scalpel to that crooked cop's chest. That's fucked up.
I would say it's the reverse of say Terminator, where the first one is kind of horror, but it's also a lot of action. And then Robocop 2 is it's still a lot of action, but there's that element of horror in it. It's like the reverse of them,
You're a master of satire, and people try to emulate it, but you just can't quite get it right.
Yeah,
well, because he's got that European sensibility too.
I mean, it was Ivan Kershner, who's a talented filmmaker. He made Empire Strikes Back. He knows what he's doing.
Did he not do Rocky as well?
Oh
no, sorry, no, that was somebody else. Yeah, it was Ivan Winkler.
Yeah, that's right. He was the producer. Yeah.
Verhoeven is my favorite director of all time. His gratuitous violence and his satirical content is just unmatched.
He was Tarantino before Tarantino.
Yeah. But he does that gratuitous violence because it's not supposed to be fun. He's like, when someone gets shot, it should be horrific. It should be horrible.
Yeah.
Like you should see something you don't.
Yeah.
Like I used to watch Walker, Texas Ranger growing up, and people just got shot and fell down. It was like, okay. Like that desensitizes you more than seeing blood splatter everywhere.
Yeah, and people yelling in pain on the ground, trying to stop their wound and stuff. You're like, oh shit.
And it's horrific, and it's it's like you said, it's so satirical with how they use view the news, and
the news is so good. That's such a great framing device for the world. A great exposition tool.
Even Alex Murphy, when he's getting shot here, when they torture him, they blow his hand off and all. Oh, it looks terrific.
They linger on it so long.
Yeah.
And Kirkwood Smith.
Yeah. Not wrong.
Clarence Boddicker, one of the greatest villains of all time.
And Ronnie Cox, as the boss, the main head. No, wait.
God.
Yeah.
OCP.
I love the
Dick
concept.
Jones. That's it.
Dick Jones.
I love the concept of RoboCop, though. He's a robot, but clearly he's not a robot. Because they obviously didn't have the technology.
Movie that shouldn't have worked.
We have the technology. We can rebuild him.
So good.
It's another movie like Josh was just saying. Yeah, another movie that should not have worked. Hey, we're going to make a movie about a cop who gets killed by bad guys, but then they make him into a robot, but he still has his brain, his human brain. It's like a movie that should have been made in the 50s when all those crazy monster movies, like The Floating Brain and Plan 9 from Outer Space and all these ridiculous movies. But it also makes sense that they made it in the 80s. Because the 80s was this time of these crazy fucking wild killer clowns from outer space.
Everyone was on coke and nothing mattered.
Yeah. So much cocaine.
That's usually what it is. They were just it's like a lot of lads sitting in a room. They're like, I got an idea. Yeah. Let's make a film about this guy who's a cop, right? And
they bang out a script in 48 hours of no sleep.
Then we make him a robot and he comes back, but he's still got his own brain. So he's not actually a robot. He's still himself. Yeah. And they were all like, Yeah, sounds good. Let's go with that. And you're just like, what the hell?
But then Verhoeven took it and made it a masterpiece.
Yeah, but you're like, what the hell was wrong with you? Like, who the hell? Like, imagine being the guy who has to like deliver these out, like deliver out the scripts and stuff, and you're like, what the hell is wrong with those guys? What the hell have they written? The man's a robot, but he's not really a robot. What the hell is wrong with them?
Yeah.
And then you hand it out, and you're like, oh, it's actually a fucking monster film. Like, why the hell was this so good?
God.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, it's just it's one of those things that just shouldn't have worked at all.
Yep.
Like, no way this should work. Like, no way this should be like, this should be kind of like bottom of the pile 80s action, you know, like
it should have been forgettable.
It should have been like, yeah, it's fine, it's enjoyable to watch, but yeah, like really it's a bit shit, and it's just not
so much going on there.
Yeah, and it's just not like
the world building is pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's insane how good it was. Like I don't know why it was so good. Because it shouldn't have been. Yeah, but it shouldn't have been. You know, like everything you think about it, you're like, this shouldn't be good. But it's just so dumb, good,
and it's so ridiculous. But he creates a world that you're just like enthralled with.
Yeah.
If you want to watch something fun, there's this little documentary series on Netflix called "The Movies That Made Us."
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it. With the horror
this
ones.
movie, like you see all the
Robocop
trials
one
and tribulations of it. Like it shouldn't have gotten made.
And how Verhoeven
was so
kind of
problems.
a prick, but
oh, he's a dickhead.
Yeah,
he's good at what he does.
Likeable dickhead.
Well,
I love him.
He puts out the stuff that you want to watch. So
he's my favorite director of all time.
Yeah,
right, I'm gonna give you something here, right? So there's 5 picks left.
Mm-hmm.
There's not one Van Damme movie in this.
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
Yeah,
no
I don't think I have one.
No, I don't think so. Well, because Josh only has 2, and I got ideas of what those 2 should be, and I can't imagine a Van Damme film is going to be those top 2.
I came close with Bloodsport.
I came close with Bloodsport too. That was like if that probably would have been 11, my 11th pick.
I just had more fun with Tango and Cash, so that was like.
That was a conversation me and Ted had earlier. I thought Kickboxer would have made it.
I said Bloodsport.
Yeah,
will go ahead of Kickboxer. Because
I prefer Bloodsport
everyone
over
remembers
Kickboxer,
it. Everyone just remembers it more. It's not. I'd say Kickboxer is probably actually a better film, but the more memorable is Bloodsport.
I don't know if it is. I think
have we done Kickboxer?
No, we haven't. That should be on the list for sure.
We've definitely done Bloodsport.
And you want me to break my leg?
Yeah, no, like, and it is very good, but I think Bloodsport just has that that reverence behind it as well that just really helps it.
When you do Kickboxer, I'll come on and do it with you.
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah, it is a good one.
Done.
It is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't
negotiate the transfer fee there.
We'll sort something out. We'll sort something out off there. Yeah, I can't see Van Damme cracking into the top 2. So unless he's in,
I'm surprised he didn't make.
I mean, he was sort of in Predator.
Yeah, until he walked away, idiot.
Yeah.
So unless JP happens to
he
have
has more of my favorites in the 90s.
Yeah, I think that's probably it. I think the 90s is probably where he really hit his stride.
That's where he really hit his stride.
He did a whole month on Van Damme.
Yeah, so that's okay. I can accept that if he's going more 90s on his stuff, because that's probably where he hit the stride. JP, what's your number 3?
Let's see. Oh wait, no, I just did RoboCop.
Oh, you just did RoboCop. So we're back.
That's okay.
We're back to
so
Josh.
My 2.
Yeah, you're 2.
My number 2 is Aliens from 1996.
Yeah.
Okay, so
fair pick there.
So what have we got? That's 3.
Yeah. So JP goes now on his 3 on his.
On his 2, but I think we've got 3 crossovers so far.
3 crossovers: Roadhouse, Commando,
and now Aliens.
And then we're gonna have another one because my number 2 is Die Hard.
Well, yeah,
yours is Die Hard. Okay, so
Die Hard.
We're up to 4 now. So there's still the potential of 2. We could get up to 6. There's still the potential if their number ones are not the same.
Yeah.
There's a potential of 6.
So we did say before number 1 pick we'll go 3 honorable mentions each that didn't make it.
Yeah. Okay, so
I actually have exactly 3 honorable mentions.
Okay, perfect. So give us your 3 there,
Robocop
Josh.
2, Robocop 3.
My honorable mentions are the first 3 Rambo movies.
None of them made
First 3 all were in the 80s.
Yeah.
Wow.
The third one almost made my number 10.
Ooh.
The third one. The one in Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
I thought you were joking when you said that.
Yeah, I love it. It's the most pure, just 80s action movie. He's just like killing a bunch of
Blows the
Russians.
helicopter up.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's ridiculous. It's stupid.
Single-handedly stops the Cold War.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so three Rambos in the honorable mentions
All
already.
three made it in the 80s.
Okay, so JP, what would be your 3 honorable mentions then?
I see. Okay, so this is where it's a little tough for me because Back to the Future, I kind of consider an action movie, but I don't know, because that's a movie from the 80s. That's a fun, crazy movie from the 80s that I love, but I left it off the list because I consider it more of like a sci-fi adventure movie.
I'd agree with you there. I think it's more of a, especially the original is definitely more of a sci-fi.
Yeah. The first two I wouldn't say, but I could understand the third.
Maybe an argument, but I definitely think there's probably more action, like more action ones that could go in ahead of it if you're doing an honorable three.
For sure. But then Bloodsport for sure. And then it barely missed the cut, but it was like early 1990, and that's Total Recall. That is one of like that's in like my top 10 90s. That's in my top 10 movies.
Okay. In 1990, Die Hard 2, Total Recall, and Robocop 2.
The treat.
All 1990, which would have all made my list if they were.
Okay. So one more then, JP. Or well, I suppose two more, because one of them is technically 90.
Total Recall is another Verhoeven joint.
Yeah, so that's technically 90. So you still have 2 honorable mentions for the 80s.
Oh wow. Okay. So oh my god, I can't even. Yeah. So I've got Bloodsport. I've got. Oh my gosh.
We've got him flustered.
Yeah.
I know, I love it.
I guess the original Batman with Michael Keaton.
Okay.
89.
Yeah.
89, and then God. Oh man, that's really tough. That's really tough. Give me a minute. Come back to me.
We'll come back to you on that.
Some quick research.
We'll let Josh do his number 1 of the 80s then.
The number 1 , of course, is RoboCop.
Okay.
My favorite movie of all time.
All right, so there's your
action.
That's just 5.
There's your 5. There's your 5 crossovers.
So I called that one very correctly, Ted.
Yeah.
Well, JP,
I mean, look at our logo. It's an OCP knockoff. I love RoboCop.
I called RoboCop being one of the lads' number 1s.
Yeah, he did. He said to me before, he's like, it's going to be at least one of their number 1s.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
I love everything about it. I love Peter Weller. I love Kirkwood Smith. I love Nancy Allen. I love all of it.
Okay.
Even the end credits.
And we'll never do. We have a thing where we will never do RoboCop until Nancy Allen agrees to come on our show.
Okay, that's a fair.
What if she dies?
Then they'll never do RoboCop.
Yeah, we'll never
do RoboCop.
But I feel like out of everybody, that's someone we might be able to get.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Fair enough.
We don't have a lot of confidence.
So I think did we say my number 2? I don't think we said my number 2, because my number 2 is Die Hard. So then that's another crossover.
Yeah, no, we counted that one. That was the
we counted that
crossover.
One?
Yeah. So now it's your number 1.
My number 1 is Predator. That's my number.
Oh, so
okay,
we got
so
7.
No, we got 6.
Oh, we got 6.
So right in between, you boys predicted 5 and 7, and it hits the 6.
I was surprised you didn't have. Was it Terminator?
Yeah, I loved the original Terminator, but I think number 2, like far,
Yes.
Yeah,
of course.
But number 2 might be the best sci-fi movie ever made.
Yeah, it might be that. And I know what my third. I guess you can kind of tell it action is Blade Runner. Would you consider Blade Runner an action movie?
100%.
Yeah.
I love Blade Runner.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that neither of your honorable mentions was Big Trouble in Little China. And even though it's not a huge,
I've never actually seen that.
Even though, man, get on Big Trouble. It's so good.
I love it.
Because I know
that's a good one
to do it at some point, so I've just stayed away from it.
Y'all kick him out. Kick him out.
I'm also surprised that.
I don't watch movies now because I'm like, we might do this at some point, so I wait.
It's on Disney Plus.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's so good. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to watch it, but I just have to wait until.
Yeah, okay.
They
That's
asked Jack Burton, have your
I hold movies
paid
off
your
because
dues?
I don't want to watch them again. Like if I watch a movie, then I have to watch it again. I don't want to do that.
I'll come on and do Big Trouble in Little China too.
Greg
Fuck
loves
yeah.
Greg
Cool.
loves Big Trouble.
I love Big Trouble in Little China.
I'm also surprised. I'm not like hugely surprised that these didn't make it, but obviously Top Gun is one, and Karate Kid. Maybe not hugely action packed, but
I love Karate Kid though.
I think that fits.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah,
Cobra Kai is great.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised you didn't have that as much as you love that series.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the series is unbelievable.
Oh, I love Cobra Kai.
I haven't finished season 4 yet.
Yeah, Greg hasn't finished it
through it.
One day, done.
The wife has officially given up and told me to go on without it now, so it'll be finished.
Oh no!
I watched.
Reins are off.
I binged that one day. It came out. Put it on, and I was like, I'll just watch one or two, and then I'll save the rest for tomorrow. And then I was like, oh, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I've just watched all of Cobra Kai. Right, fair enough.
Well, once I start, if it's all there, I'm doing it all.
Yeah. It was.
There's no
so
choice.
Good. The whole all the series so good.
I didn't go through Hawkeye until it was finished coming out.
Yeah, I just wanted to binge that one as well. But yeah, no, okay, so. Number 1 was Predator, 6 crossovers. A certain a friend of ours.
Fully understand.
Yeah, a friend of ours, Carl King. He'll be very happy to see that mark out as number 1. That's his number 1 action film of all time, let alone the 80s. That's his number 1 action of all time.
Yeah,
it's just. Can understand why it has absolutely everything in it.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Like the only thing it's missing in terms of 80s action was half naked or naked women. That was
there were no 80s boobs.
that was literally it.
There might be not enough one-liners.
There's definitely enough one-liners. They just come from everybody else as well.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's not just Arnold.
Dylan.
That might be my problem.
Dylan,
it might be
son of a bitch.
Or what was
they got you? Your arms have gotten small. They got you pushing too many pencils.
I
Speak for yourself, Dutch.
It might be the better made movie out of all of these.
Yeah.
John
McTiernan.
McTiernan.
If you're just going off quality, like everything fits. There's the story they're telling, and they hit every beat. Nothing's like, oh, there's a plot hole there. There's a plot hole there. No, it all
makes sense.
I love even like Bill Duke's one-liner where he's like, "I see you in the trees."
Yeah, I do.
Gonna have me some fun.
I do like that.
Even Shane Black's jokes to Billy.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I love the fact that I don't think that's scripted. You know, like because Billy's such a madman. I think they were just like, hey, you should keep telling them like sexual innuendo jokes, and just see if you can crack them. So he just kept telling them, and like
they tried the entire time to get Shane Black to do writing on the movie, and he was just like, "No, I want to do acting." Yeah, he's known for a writer. Yeah, they kept trying to get him to do it, and he's like, "No." But that's probably the way they shoehorn that in, like just Mad Lib shit.
Yeah, I'd say like it'll never be confirmed whether that is the case, but I just have the feeling that he was never told what jokes to tell. He was just told, just tell jokes and try and get him to crack, like try and get a laugh out of him.
And he just
kept going and he kept going and he eventually gets them. And you just know that they had to reshoot, like they got that scene and then off scene, everyone's just like, yes, we broke him. We got a laugh out of the fucking madman.
Went back and watched some of the tapes where they didn't use that part or all takes. Those jokes are all different, I'd say.
Oh, for sure.
I'd say he just keeps cracking them, cracking out anything he can. He's like, I've got to break him by the end of this film.
What fucked up thing can I say to make this madman crack?
Yeah.
I'd say his laugh wasn't scripted either.
No, that's what I mean.
That's so deep and menacing.
I'd say it was kind of like, if you break him, we're going to have to go with that take no matter what happens. So if you break him, do not celebrate on camera because we have to use that take. They were like, you can't do anything. If you break him, that's it. Keep going because we have to use that scene because we won't get it again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course.
That'll never be confirmed, but that's always been my...
That's my headcanon.
That's my headcanon. Like he's just trying
Same
to...
Here. That makes so much sense.
Yeah. He's just trying to break this madman and they eventually broke him and they were like, okay, this film's going to be a success.
And a success it was.
Yeah, no, it was.
Yeah.
No, agree.
Oh.
Not too much of a crossover. So I did like the fact that we had a few you know, little ones. I am very surprised that Rambo, I know they made your honorable mentions. I'm surprised that they didn't make either top 10 now, to be honest. Really thought Rambo would made it.
It was close until I remembered Predator. It was Rambo 3 was my 10, and then I was like, oh my god, I forgot Predator.
Yeah, Rambos weren't as big in my childhood as Arnold Schwarzenegger movies were. I feel like Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, I like saw all of the big ones.
Rambo was a harder watch than most Arnie movies.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the first Rambo, it's an action movie, but there's a lot more drama going on there.
Yeah, there's a lot of drama.
It's a serious drama.
Yeah.
And he kills the pooch.
But I just love how number 3 is just like straight up, we're trying to do Commando. Like, he's just going to mow armies down. There's no sense to anything. There's no character development. We're just straight up action movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that is the one thing that knocks Rambo down for me. The original Rambo all the time is the fact that he killed those little pooches. I don't like that. That's always knocked it down for me.
Little now. Let's be fair, they weren't little.
No, they were. They were nice little pooches. He fucking killed them. I'm not happy about it. Right? I'll never forgive him for that. Right? So
yeah, come on.
Although I'm surprised that they weren't on the list. I'm happy that they weren't now because of that. I'm happy he didn't make the top 10. Fuck him.
I mean, they made
I'd never say that to him because he's fucking huge. Like, and you know, I am actually a huge fan of his, so I never said that to him.
Yeah, same.
But you know,
same.
I didn't.
I don't think. I know we did. We love some slack.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cliffhanger's one of my favorites.
Fucking love Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It's funny though that when you remember the start of Cliffhanger, anytime someone's talking about that, all I can picture is Jim Carrey down at Ace Ventura.
Yeah, and he's with the raccoon.
And I'm like, oh no.
That beginning of that movie broke me as a little kid.
Me too.
The raccoon?
No, like when she falls.
The actual Cliffhanger, not the raccoon one.
So long, she's begging for her life. That like did something to my brain when I was little.
And she,
Me too.
the fall is very similar to Hans Gruber's.
Yeah.
Well, they keep showing it.
Yeah. The whole
she's like halfway down the canyon, and there's like a pan to her face. Like it's like Jesus Christ, man.
Get a close up of her falling down. It'll be good.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's a. As Greg was saying, like that raccoon, like the raccoon bit of it. It's one of the things with Predator. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there used to be this thing on like YouTube, and it was just this guy, and he used to like hack into people's team speaks or whatever, and he had this Arnie soundboard.
Yeah, I remember
an Arnie soundboard.
You've got too many your arms have gotten small from pushing too many pencils. So your man just kept spamming the button. And people are losing their shit. They're like, what the fuck? And he's like, too many pencils. So whenever I see the film, in my head, I just hear pencils. As the film's going on, I'm just like, oh,
I think I threw an Arnie soundboard on one of our early episodes.
They're amazing. Like, they're so good. Like,
I think we had to pause because it wasn't working and I had to take a moment, which killed all of the effect of it.
The most used soundboard actor, I'd say.
Oh, yeah, because he's just all his one-liners are so good. Like,
the best.
Get me your mother now.
Yeah, don't you can eat my cookies.
Yeah,
put the cookie down now.
Yeah, like all of that.
Dana, hold on, Daddy's got you.
Yeah, it's
True Lies. Oh my God.
love True Lies.
Yeah,
I fucking love Elijah Dushku, Jamie Lee Curtis, and him.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, he's as an actor. Not a great actor, right?
He's Mr.
But
80s, 90s, isn't he?
Yeah, but like, when you're talking like these great actors, he's not
got more chops than he gets credit for.
He has got more chops than he gets credit for, but he's not up there as one of those like great actors of
of course
any generation.
He's not going to win an Academy Award anytime.
But
soon.
if you go out,
get a Lifetime Achievement Award though.
Yeah,
that's true.
If you go out and talk to somebody and you're like, name me an action star. You know,
it's first on the list.
People are like, The Rock might be the big one now, but everyone knows that Arnie was an action star.
It should be everyone knows Bean, but it's Arnold.
Yeah, but like everyone
it should be Michael Bean.
Arnie is going to be on everyone's list, so he's he's pinned down as being
the recognizable.
Yeah, like he's pinned down to be always remembered. So the fact that he's not the world's greatest actor, he didn't need to be for this stuff because he had his one-liners.
He was doing exactly what he should be doing.
Yeah, like he had the look, he had the one-liners. He had like everything about him was just perfect for what they needed him to do. And
he knew what he was doing and he killed it.
And he just kept going with it. Yeah. So
I've said it on a few shows. If you have a trope, you go to the well as much as you can and make as much.
Of
money.
course.
Yeah, if you're good at it, you do it.
Like, look at Joe Pesci. Yeah, he does it. He's prime example. Little small angry fucking dickhead in everything. Casino,
and it works.
Goodfellas, Home Alone.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, even in as Leo gets in
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
So
piece
good.
of shit as well. Yeah.
But he's so fast talking. Yeah.
No, it was great to have you guys on. It was surprising to see your lists were similar but also dissimilar. Like they weren't exactly the same either, which was great. And even though the ones that did cross over weren't,
they were in different spots.
I don't think we hit any same spot.
Yeah, exactly. Like nobody was like, oh, this is the number one, this is the number two. And that's the great thing, because action films are kind of about just how much enjoyment you get from them.
Yeah, it's the feeling you have when you're watching.
Yeah,
it's wildly subjective.
Agree. But it was great to have you guys on, and obviously
thank you so much.
Here, check out their podcast, which is just them just talking action films. So they go way more in depth on the films themselves rather than just giving us a list. So
they do what we normally do.
Yeah, they do what we normally do, but
we go just deep.
They just go with action. So like check them out as well. As I said, the links will be down in the description, and obviously like, share, follow, all that good stuff on us. But thanks for coming on, lads, and hopefully we'll have you on again soon. We'll try and get you on.
Thank you so much. We'd love to have you guys on our show and talk about something too.
Yeah, well, Greg's already signed up for about half your films, so
he's got about 4 or 5.
Yeah, but we'll definitely get you boys on to do the recast one. We'll just have to pick a film with enough cast members, but also an uneven amount, so that it can't end as it can still end as a draw, because we've had that, but we'll try and make it so it doesn't end as a draw.
We'll try to figure it out, and we'll
contact you. Yeah, but until
perfect. That sounds great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, perfect.
This is so much fun.
Yeah, it was great having you guys on, and we'll definitely try and get you on again when we're covering other action films. Commando being.
I know the lads already signed up to Commando. Obviously,
I have so much to say about Commando.
We have that. We have that ready to go. But until then, lads, good luck.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Later.